Excellent.
Normally showed you a few things over the years there, Jack.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. So it looks like the weather's changing, getting a little cooler weather. But in any case, maybe there's somebody here from another unity. Is there another person, anyone here from another unity? Is there anybody here for the first time? Is there anybody here for the last time? Okay, well, we're here to cheer you up, all right? And you're going to be very well cheered up because Syntysche has a phenomenal talk to share with you. You're going to love it.
All right, back on track. Quick announcements of things that are upcoming and happening right now here at Unity. We have our choir. Our holiday Christmas season is upon us. We're starting to get ready and prepare for our big Christmas show. If you would like to join, we would love to have anyone who would love to join our choir, especially men. We need male voices. But you don't have to sign up. You don't have to be an amazing singer. You don't have to be practiced. You don't have to be anything. Just please come on out and sing with us. All you have to do is show up on Thursdays at 6:30. It meets downstairs, and we would welcome anyone who shows up for that. So please share your talent with us. We have Halloween coming up, which means that we're having our annual Children's Halloween Party, which is put on by our YOU, and that's the Youth of Unity, which is our high school age students, or our high school age congregation. They're going to put on a haunted house. They do an amazing job every year. It gets more and more terrifying, and as I get older, I get more and more frightened of going into it, but the kids seem to like it. But it's free. It's from 5 to 7 on October 23rd. That's a Sunday. There's a pass-around sheet going around right now if you'd like to sign up to help out and maybe run one of our games or run one of our events or something. Please let us know. You can sign up with that. You can ask us questions about it in the office following the service or send us an email. But we'd love to have anyone help out on that one. This week, this Thursday, Norma will be leading her Sacred Feminine Circle, which is a women's spiritual group where there's healing remedies and just worldly events that pertain to women these days right now. That meets at noon this Thursday. You don't have to sign up for it. Just come on in and join the group. An offering will be taken at the end of the event. And lastly, this Friday, we are going to be having a sound circle led by today's musical guest, Rebecca Abraxas. It's going to be an evening of illuminating your heart and energy field through vocal sound. If you'd like to tell a little about it, you're welcome to. But other than that, Rebecca, take it away.
Okay.
Oh.
Give me back my mic. It's okay. We'll just do it without it.
I
perceive, know, and be. I am the light, but I ask myself why. I feel like I could cry when I don't know what to do, and I feel so confused. I like to remember. Perceive, know, and be. I am alive. When I watch myself hold back, and I feel all off track. When I look out in the world, and feel like a scared girl. I like to remember. To perceive, know, and be. I am a light. When everything feels right, my joy is at its height. I like to remember. To remember, I remember, I am the light, I am the light, an infinite being, to perceive, know, and be. I am the light.
That was a beautiful way to start. Thank you, Rebecca. And you can chant with her this Friday. She's going to be doing that with people, so look into that. You don't have to pre-register, do you, for the sound thing? What time is it on Friday? 6:30. 6:30, so. All right. So today my talk's title is The Greatest of These is Love. In Corinthians 13:13, it says, Paul writes in the New Testament, where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there's knowledge, it will pass away, and these shall remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Talking about this topic, and I'm going to be talking about agape love, which is the highest level of love. It's so much more than we could ever dream or imagine. It is selfless, sacrificial love. It is spoken of over 200 times in the Bible. And this is what we can talk about in the definition of that kind of love. Our world has many definitions of love, but we most commonly think about love in a romantic sense. What if love, true love, meant more than romance? What if there was a deeper, truer, more full expression of love that could only be found from within us and expressed through us? It's so beautifully demonstrated by Jesus, the human expression of what we are all capable of being, through selfless service, conscious communication, and love in action, as a miracle worker here and now, just as Jesus promised we could do and be as well. So, and he always said it, if you went to the Father as he did, or if we look at it metaphysically, if we go into higher states of consciousness and access this higher state of consciousness that lives within us, there's a giving nature that is endless, and it doesn't have to abstain from the giving. There's an endless amount of giving when we are connected with this greater source, this greater love we call God, Spirit, Creator, whatever word makes you feel connected and loved. I wrote this sermon because I've been having a difficulty with somebody I talked about a few weeks ago, a friend of mine. And I found, when you find in a relationship where you're giving a lot more than you're receiving from the relationship, and eventually it looks like you're giving 90% and you're maybe getting like crumbs back. And I've gotten advice from my council, which is the co-ministers and family, and they're saying, stop giving so much, stop giving so much. And so I started to withhold what I had to give for the last few weeks. And I found myself actually having heart palpitations and physical issues coming up by my withholding what I have to give. It's not natural for me to not keep giving regardless of whether that person deserves that kind of love or not. And I was listening to the peers. I'm listening to the people around me that I have high regard for. But eventually I had to go into meditation and sit with my physical body that was reacting to my withholding. And I was in discord. I was in a place that I don't want to be after all I've learned in my life. I know that there's an endless giving. There's an endless fountain of love that's within us when we live from this higher vibration, and it doesn't exhaust us. It doesn't take our power away. It's a giving that's unconditional and it's endless. And they call it agape love. The definition of agape love is a Greek word pronounced agape. Agape love is a love of choice, not out of attraction or obligation. Agape love is what Jesus displayed in his living walk as a miracle worker and healer for no attraction, but out of choice. It was a choice. I mean, when we think about Jesus' life, it doesn't sound like he was sitting around laughing a lot and having a lot of fun. His life was one of service. That was what his dharma was this lifetime. And we all have many different dharmas when we're put onto this planet as a soul. And the discovering of the soul that we have is the most important work we have, because the more we identify and learn who we truly are, from the core of who we came in as, it's not a fundamental thing that was built from our childhood or traumas or dis-ease or discord. The original soul of Syntysche, Vi, Elaine, Tony. That soul that we came in with, and identifying that. And when you feel uncomfortable about actions that you're sharing in this world, you have to feel into that and to grow that understanding. When I discovered that it's endless what I can give, all the chest pain left my body. I don't have to look to my peers to say, even though this person doesn't deserve it, that I'm going to withhold what I have to give. That's not who I am. That's not the dharma that I am this lifetime. Maybe in other lifetimes I could do that, but that is actually physically dangerous for me to do. When you have those aha moments, your body does tell, your body speaks the truth about who you are, why you're here. And you will find, once you really know that about yourself, you will attract that which is meant for your unfoldment in this lifetime. And it's very exciting. It's very beautiful. And to, once again, at this age, you never stop growing. This path is always growing. We were growing every lifetime before that. We can access some of the knowledge we had from other lifetimes so that we don't have to skin our knees so many times here. It's that meditation, it's that deep understanding that there's this divine love at the core of every single person, whether they're acting out that way or not. And we call that a perfect child of God. A perfect child of God. So when I look at the picture of Mother Teresa holding that baby, that opens my heart. That look of compassion, a life of servitude for the poorest of the poor. And she also, you don't see a whole lot of pictures of her smiling, right? A life of service is so fulfilling, but it's one that's an internal soul connecting one. It's not about the next fun thing. Their fun thing is bringing peace to other people's lives, bringing love into their lives, being the salvation and being the Christ energy that is actually healing and being a part of the healing of the second coming. We are that second coming. We are that love that is expressed in this world. So yesterday I decided it was time to switch out of my summer purse because it was just getting more and more full. I need more and more things as the fall comes and kids and stuff that's being carried. So I went to go switch out one of my purses and grabbed a purse that was just the right size. And I don't have like some boutique area with like pretty purses. They're all from like secondhand stores, but sometimes one can like exist for like another lifetime, right? So I was finding the one that might have enough to like live for like a month or two. And I tend to, when I switch out of purses, like switch out the money and the makeup and like the basic things, but then everything else is left, like every Kleenex of that season. You know, it's pretty gross and it's probably I could do better. I'm gonna do better. But when I opened this purse, I'm not even kidding, there was 25 masks stuffed at the bottom of this purse. And I went to go dump them out in my kitchen and just went into this like, back into the beginning of the pandemic. I completely left that purse. I'm dumping these masks, but I'm not even in, I am literally living in the past of the process that has gotten me to here. Because I always think it's nice to be in reverence of the past, to recognize what we learned, to not forget what we learned. And what was so powerful about the pandemic was that we all went through it together. But are we starting to forget the little nuances, the little things that appeared during that time that showed us what was actually important? What was actually what we wanted to do now in our lives, right? That solitude that so many people had if they didn't have family members in the house. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. You know, I was a mother navigating something I'd never experienced and had to act like I knew what I was doing and lead teenagers through it to keep them out of those depressions that a lot of those kids were going into. I had to navigate a ministry through all of it. And I think many of us really all agreed on the fact that community was so important. Having people to share our spiritual food with, to grow us energetically, to mirror this beauty and love within each and every one of us, to create a community for those who don't have family at home, but have their spiritual family. Because that's all that we need. We need that companionship. We need that wholeness, that mirroring to show us of the Christ potential that's within each and every one of us and showing up as that in action. We all remember coming to the point that our families were the most important. Staying in contact with our friends and making that more important and having those longer conversations in person, right? We were so tired of our telephones and Zoom and all this just disconnection for connection. So thinking about that, I realized that that's probably part of why I was having this ping in my heart while I was trying to withhold something that the world would say this person didn't deserve. But as far as my soul and what it's here to do is it's an endless giving. That probably wouldn't have been me before the pandemic. But it changed us. It grew us, hopefully, and made us more authentic, more honest, more naked to what we feel. Because the feeling place will tell us the truth, and it always, always will. That's not the one I want right there. So, to be living a full expression of love that is only found by the giving of it. See, when we give of love, it's like we talk about the law of attraction, and when we tithe to our centers, it makes room for more, tenfold, to come back to us and to build up a beautiful, powerful, abundant life. And when we give love, when we're aching for love, or wanting that partner in our life, or to have that kind of loving connection in our families, to give that love away unconditionally, also makes room in our beings to receive that tenfold in our lives. The Greek terms for love, especially the word agape, which is supposed to be the highest expression of love, a pure, selfless, unconditional thing. Agape love is love at the highest level. It's so much more than we could ever dream or imagine. When we fully understand and grasp what agape love means for us, it will transform how we view ourselves and ultimately how we view everyone and everything. You know, when you are in nature and you get a rare opportunity that a mama deer walks by and their babies are there, and there's a sense where they actually look at you and take you in, and you actually have this agape love experience, which is wordless. It's just an essence. And it lifts you, and your heart skips a beat because it's so beautiful, and the world is still so lovely, and it's still filled with so much magic. And then we lose it because we go home and we're having discord in our marriage, and we're having issues with one of our kids, and we lose the point where we went into that highest consciousness, when we're in the face of the innocence and the beauty of life. And even the people that are faltering and not doing well and might be acting out in our lives, and it might be disturbing us, when we live in a high vibration, it no longer has any power in our lives. It's like Tai Chi. It just floats off you because you see that there's something going on, and there's more we can always give to try to mirror back the beauty that's within them. On December 11th, 1979, Mother Teresa, the saint of the gutters, went to Oslo, dressed in her signature blue-bordered sari and shod in sandals despite below-zero temperatures. She received that ultimate worldly accolade, the Nobel Peace Prize. In her acceptance lecture, Teresa, whose missionaries of charity had grown from a one-woman folly in Calcutta in 1948 into a global beacon of self-abnegating care, delivered the kind of message the world had come to expect from her. She said, "It is not enough for us to say, 'I love God,' but I do not love my neighbor." She said, since in dying on the cross, God had made himself the hungry one, the naked one, the homeless one. Jesus' hunger, she said, is what you and I must find and alleviate. See, she suggested that the upcoming Christmas holiday should remind the world that radiating joy is real, because Christ is everywhere. Christ in our hearts, Christ in the poor we meet, Christ in the smile we give, and in the smiles that we receive. Let's sit with that for a second. And Christ, we're not talking about the human Christ, we're talking about the Christ consciousness, the ideal that exists within us when we lean into the giving nature of God. The honorable divine path of spirituality. That when we live from this place of giving love and showing up to anything and everything that is needed, wanted, and necessary for our souls to give, you will want for nothing. You're wanting for that relationship. You're wanting for that money. You're wanting for that physical healing. You're wanting, all that goes away when you start your day with, guide me, God. Lead me to what I'm here to do today. Let me be the eyes. Let me be the listeners. Let me be the giver. Let me show up to what you want me to, where and why and what you want me to do today. Agape love is a sacrificial love that binds. It is the love that we see through the lens of Christ consciousness. It is the love that saves and restores humanity in the face of disharmony. That's so important. Agape love is a sacrificial love that binds. So sacrificial sounds like we're giving everything away, and when you realize that at the core of everything you have an endless amount of it to give, it might be sacrificial, but in that sacrificial feeling, you're actually just gaining so much joy, so much peace, because you're living in an honorable world. You're living within the honor of life and the heart. Your heart leads, not the mind. Don't ever talk yourself out of approaching a moment where you can share that agape love. And hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. Through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. The Holy Spirit has been given to us. Do you get that? So there's not some way that we have to do some favor to get God's attention to pour into us that which the Holy Spirit is here to heal and give and be in this world. We are it. We are the vessel of it. But we have to claim that direct connection. That inspired love. No matter how tired you feel in your life, you know why you feel tired about your life right now? You don't feel freedom in your life. You feel rigid in your life. You feel like you're pointing out all the things that aren't working in your life. It's because your story is boring. You're living in your story. And you want everybody to hear your victimhood of your whole story. And once you end your story and start becoming the giver of life and love, and that which you know is in you, you will have a fountain of life that's going to move through your life in a way that you could never understand till you let go of the past. And claim your divine heritage here and now. Conscious communication, selfless service, stopping at every moment. Don't figure out when you give the money to the homeless person where they're going to take that money. That's none of your business. Just be the conduit. If you have it to give, give it. And watch your cup runneth over. A new ministry for Mother Teresa, a written ministry of her interior life, it says, it may be remembered as just as important as her ministry to the poor. It would be a ministry to people who had experienced some doubt, some absence of God in their lives. And you know who that is? Everybody. Doubters, seekers, believers, everyone. Everyone has had doubt in their lives. But let them ask in faith with no doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. You will be made crazy by the doubting, whether is Spirit in this? Is God in this? Was God in the pandemic? Was this out to just blow our minds and destroy us? But how many of us came out the other side so much lighter, so much more honorable, so much more honest, so much more protective of this planet, so much better parents, so much better spouses? Because we felt what it was like to have everything taken away for a while. And all we could do was find what we were grateful for. And as they started to come back, we were grateful. But is the denseness of that experience starting to dissipate now? And we're forgetting all that we gained, all of that truth. And James 1:6 says, but let him ask in faith with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. You're tossed around. You have no control. You've lost your faith in this greater something. But then it says this, truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in your honest heart, your honest, authentic heart that knows agape love and knows the unconditionalness of it, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him or her. I like to fix those, but I guess I didn't catch it. And does not doubt in your heart that it can be overcome. I always like to say to my kids when they're asking questions of things that are frustrating them and they're experiencing doubt on their spiritual path, you know that we're part of a mystery school, guys. The mystery is we all like to speculate what's going to happen when we die. We want to speculate what it's like to have kids before we have kids. All these little magical moments that are going to happen. And then they happen, and they're even greater than you could ever dream up, right? And that's with everything. when you've overcome an illness that you thought you'd never beat, when you have those moments where you anchored yourself with this greater, honorable, agape God through us as expression of agape love, when we are in the cyclical, beautiful exchange, everything will change. But we have to surrender and know that we want more of this love from this universe, and the quickest way of receiving it is by giving it away to everyone who needs it, and drawing ourselves closer and closer to the source of all life, God, Spirit, Creator. Getting today. These shoes are so slick, my foot's going like this while I'm pushing it forward. The heart is so much more than just an organ or a mere feeling. It's the creativeness of the universe speaking right through you. It's the essence of many people's spiritual and emotional wisdom and a valuable guidance from deep within. Starting your day by asking Spirit to use you, to be the hands, the heart, the ears for what task Spirit needs you to divinely show up for. You don't need to know what it is, but to move into your day by grace and faith, that you as a conduit of God's love can move mountains for others and in return draws Spirit closer to us to move our own obstacles out of our way. When we are living in the divine connection as giver, Spirit, it will be revealed more and more of the qualities of our deepest soul's longing for returning home. That's really the journey, is fulfilling that longing of returning home to the truth of who we truly are. Thanks, hon. That longing will cease when you truly come home and live authentically as the light bearer that you were put here to be and do in this world. And if all of us can claim that divine heritage as the daughters and the sons of the Creator, we will witness miracles happening through us. Maybe little at first, but you may eventually experience yourself actually acting as a miracle worker, changing things in an instant that are not needed, not wanted, and not necessary for our beloved sisters and brothers on this planet. In Matthew 6:6 it says, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen." The process of being on this path, they always say to pray in silence, to pray in secret. It's not a showy prayer. You know when you've met like spiritual people on their path and it's time for dinner and they do this whole thing and their hands are like with their food and they want the whole restaurant to watch them be better than everybody through their prayerful practice. Have you ever met anybody like that, Rebecca? I've met a lot of people like that. As a family, we always do say a prayer at our meals. But it's in secret, and it's quiet, and it's not something for the whole world to be witnessing unless they want to join us, right? There's a humility to the spiritual process. It's not a showy thing to make others feel that they're inadequate. The whole work of the spiritual practice is that our mirror makes everybody feel adequate, feel better because we're around them, feel healed because we're around them, feel heard and seen because we're around them. I always like the prayer of protection when I'm thinking of people that are having ills in their life and they're experiencing discord, and I might be fretting about the place they're at. So I thought, let's bring to somebody in our mind that we know is having a difficult time right now and be that agape love, be that channel of blessings for others, and let's recite this prayer out to the universe for anybody that needs to hear this right now. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. And the presence of God watches over you. And wherever you are, God is. And sometimes to start your day is to say it to ourselves. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me. And wherever I am, God is. That just goes right into high frequencies. To recognize this power of the universe and to unify and connect with its grandeur, perfection, the beauty of it. Emerson says, people are an inlet and may become an outlet to all there is in God. It is something you can practice with great effect. Voice the word God on the in-breath. So we're going to try that. We go, God. And on the exhale, we say, I am. God. God. I am. God. I am. God. I am. The process involved is significant. First, you symbolically return to the beginning oneness, wholeness, being. Then you call yourself by the name of the Lord by voicing the I am. God, I am. God, I am. Then when your Father, Creator, Spirit sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Because you put your spiritual life first, above your ego, above your needing to be right, above you feeling things need to be fair, all the degrees that we withhold our love or withhold our actions, because, we're judging or we're trying to decide whether people deserve this endless beauty that is available to be given. So your Father, the Spirit who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Which, returning to the ground of being, it is turning from illness to allness, from weakness to strength, from insufficiency to all sufficiency, from indecisiveness to guiding light. Remember, too, that Jesus assured us that it is God's will to unfold his allness in us. No need for vain repetitions or pleading. All you have to do is say yes to the flow of life. Yes to the flow of life. Letting go of the oars and letting our lives be guided by Spirit to exactly where it should be. Get out of that intellect so much and let the heart help you surrender into the faith and the hope that God gives you when you realize love is all there really is. Expect the good to happen, and it will happen. Give your good pleasure to others, and it shall be added unto you. Believe you are worthy, and give from your worthiness. Let's breathe in again, God. Now with I am. Again. God. God. I am. Yahweh's easier. Yahweh. I'm trying to figure out which word works the best on the God. I am. And you are too, and you are too. And I'm blessed to be a witness of all the beauty that exists here, right now. Thank you.
Once again, the words of life that bring true life and lead us beyond the limited conditioned fears of the world. The words of true life, when put in action, transform our whole experience. But speaking about transforming our experience, I have to remind you once again that this organization is in the world. We are involved in practicing spiritual truths sometimes that are transcendent. In other words, they don't apply to the limited thinking of the world. But in any case, we are still here physically, responsible to the conditions, the circumstances, and the priorities of the world. So I must again appeal to you that are tuning in and receiving the sharing of this Unity Center, that we need you to participate on a financial level, not just on a physical level to show up or tune in, or even to vote for us. Once again, we became the best place in Boulder to worship. But it's more than that. You have to really feel a part of it, and to feel a part of it, you have to donate something to sustain it on its physical level. And so we're asking you, if it's possible, that you can come up with a gift that you'd like to be able to give on a regular basis, so that, you know, it doesn't have to be a big gift, but just a gift you could afford that would be given on a regular basis, so we could budget for all the different things that are required by a building this large with everything that goes on here. So keep that in mind and pray about that. And here are the different ways you can give, but we'd like you really to tune in. Call our office and speak to Heather or speak to Steve, and they will help you through, find a way to make that donation that will be ongoing. And we would certainly appreciate that. So now let's bless these offerings with this offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. So it is. And Rebecca Praxis is here to share her amazing music with us once again.
We know who we are and where we came from. Sometimes it's hard to see what we've become. We know it's only a point of view. Sometimes we gotta check our attitude. In the end, there's a story to your life. What will it take to make it feel right? In the end, there's a story to your life. Will you see the glory in your darkest story? We have more than we ever thought we did. We know, even though we think we don't. Sometimes we gotta live what's in front of us. This time we're gonna give everything we have. In the end, there's a story to your life. What will it take to make it feel right? In the end, there's a story to your life. Can we see the glory in our darkest story? This is your part. Here we go. Come on, lift up your spirit with sound. Na 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 na. It's an easy part, right? Let's go. Na 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 na. Woo! Na 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 na. I'm gonna stay on this part until I hear a few people. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Oh, you have to open your mouth to sing. So here we go. Na 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 na. All right, I see a few people. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. In the end, what story will you tell? Will you see what your wishes have propelled? All that you've lived and all that you
All right. Well, thank you for that beautiful music, Rebecca. It's always great to have you. Yeah, it's really amazing. It's happy stuff. So join her singing circle this Friday at 6 o'clock. You just show up, and she will sit, and you'll do toning and all sorts of cool stuff. So definitely try that out. And then we have prayer partners available to you if you're facing a challenge today. They're wearing the white cloaks. If you want to meet with one of them, just stay seated in your seat, and they'll come and find you and pray with you today. And then I have a discussion group. If you want to talk about the sermon with me for a little while after the service, we'll meet in the back of the sanctuary back here. We'll let you have some refreshments for like 10 minutes and coffee, and then we'll meet in here. And that's it. Let's all rise and close with a closing song. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. In the Spirit, and my heart. Yes, God. So awesome. For God. No more struggle. No more strife. It's not the faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yes, I'm only here for God. Beautiful singing. We'll see you in the fellowship hall after.